I'm born ready.
Born
Exactly,
ready.
I can tell.
Over prepared. Welcome to the Sanibel Captiva Guide podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have a great podcast today. I don't know if you know, but the Ding Darling Wildlife Society has a newsletter called Ding on the Wing, and Laurie happened to be reading through it, and we found this fascinating story which we talked about. It's Bill and Laurie Harkey that are joining us today. Truly fascinating story about donating to the causes that you're passionate about and how they went about it. They did it a little bit differently to most. But welcome to the podcast. Welcome. Thanks for coming in and thanks for having a chat to us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about, so you've moved down here. Where are you from originally? How did you find Sanibel? And you moved here in 2019.
Yeah.
And then, so tell us a little bit how you arrived here and your backstory.
Well, I'm from Northern California. Spent almost 30 years in the United States Army, traveling all over the United States and the world. Laurie and I met, in fact, in Hawaii.
On vacation? Or were you stationed there?
She was on vacation. I was on my way to Korea.
No way.
Man.
That's
And
a
we
great
had-
story.
And we had one couple who were mutual friends.
Right.
So we met there, and they refused to take any responsibility for our having gotten married. But then when I retired from the Army, we retired to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and started coming down here in 2002.
Mm-hmm. And what made you discover Sanibel? Did you know people that lived here? Or?
My dad had come down for the month of March. He was a Ohio Buckeyes snowbird.
Oh, right. Like
And
my parents.
He'd been coming down for many years, so when Bill retired, we finally had the time to
Gotcha.
come down and spend a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we were
What
smitten.
do you think as soon as you...
We were smitten.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Yeah, that was in 2002, you said?
Yeah.
Right.
We've been back every year since.
1 week became 2 weeks, became 3 weeks, became, well, we want to stay longer, but now we have to find a dog-friendly place to rent.
Okay.
And that extended into about 2016, I guess. And one day I looked at Laurie and I said, why are we still renting? Why don't we buy something?
Yeah.
Right.
We did that, and then we were coming down as snowbirds. And then in 2019, February of 19, I guess it was, we had a pipe burst in the house up in Pennsylvania. And we got all was taken care of, and one day we're walking on the beach, and Laura looked at me and she said, we have one too many houses.
All right.
Which one should we keep? And that is the dictionary definition of a rhetorical question.
Exactly.
So I smiled and said, yes, dear. And
Here we are.
We downsized in Pennsylvania and came down here and haven't looked back.
So you came here, so you decided to stop renting and decided to buy a house down here.
Right.
And then, so you come down full-time residence and then pastimes. I read a little bit about your pastimes. Lots of volunteering, I understand. And
I think Laurie's, she's all dressed up, ready for her.
Ready to go to Ding this afternoon.
Right.
I was a medical social worker by my profession, but as we moved around with the Army, every 2 years it was hard to keep up with my profession. So I took up volunteering for the American Red Cross, because wherever the military goes, Red Cross is there. So I spent almost 20 years with Red Cross.
Oh, good.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which very rewarding, and I'm very appreciative that I was in a position to be able to do that. Sometimes during Desert Storm, I worked more hours than he did as the active duty service member.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Keeping Red Cross going. So.
Right.
So you were, so just off topic a little bit, tell us the different places the Army took you. Where?
I've been twice to the same city in Germany, Darmstadt, Germany. I was twice at the Pentagon. I was in Korea for a year. I was twice at Carlisle Barracks, Pennsylvania, which is where the home of the Army War College, which is the Army's senior service institution. And that's a rarity. You don't go back there twice usually. I got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Various schools and shorter assignments around the United States. Indianapolis, Fort Benjamin Harrison, Indiana. Fort Sheridan, Illinois, which is right up on the lake. It's now closed through base realignment and closing a number of years ago. But down in Atlanta, Georgia for a couple of years, and graduate school at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs!
There you go.
Go Dogs.
And so it was a very fulfilling. My last assignment was at West Point, the U.S. military
No
academy.
way.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Right, yeah.
I see you like that. Laurie.
Yeah.
And there are still scratch marks in the freeway where we had to drag her away from West Point.
So you're saying, so I know Sanibel's your love now, but if you had to pick another place, where would
Where
you
was
say?
the favourite place you assigned to or posted to?
For us, probably West Point.
Really?
Yeah. And
So
what's
were you
the-
teaching there?
I was the director of public affairs, and I got to teach the cadets on media relations and interview techniques, etc.
And what did you love about West Point, Laurie?
I think mostly it was the cadets. We sponsored cadets every year. We're still in touch with them, even
cool.
though they're now senior military officers.
Right, they
No,
became part of your family.
They've grown up, yeah. But I think just the interaction with the cadets, just fine young men and women. And
Yeah.
How many people? How many students do they have at the West Point?
At West Point, they bring in. Oh Lord, I'm going to probably say some numbers here that the academy would come back and kick me for. Well, they graduate some 350, 400 students a year.
Really?
They bring in 1,500 or so plebes, freshmen. That usually pairs down to 1,300 or 1,200. And again, any West Point graduates out there listening to this who say I'm wrong, I apologize.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
been gone for 20 years.
We won't hold you to it.
After a Google search, I found the total enrollment is 4,389 in 2016
All right.
Okay.
of all
He's
4
been
years. So
All 4 years.
so that's adds up 1,500 a class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Good job.
Yeah. and did you
You
find
still got
yourself
it.
going overseas much? You mentioned you were in Desert Storm, or
No, I was not in Desert Storm. In 29 and a half years, I never went to a war zone. I was in Germany twice and Korea once, right up on the DMZ in Korea with the 2nd Infantry Division.
Wow.
But it never worked out that I was coming out of officer school in 1973 as we were coming out of Vietnam.
right?
So I didn't go to that issue, and it just never worked out that I went to a war zone, but 3 times overseas and lots of time around the United States.
You know, that's an incredible. Obviously, you can tell I'm not from here originally, but I had a customer a little while back who was in the army in the Marines for. He did 4 tours, so I think it was 12 or 13 years through this tumultuous time, and exactly the same thing he said to me. He never once went to a war zone, and I was like, that is an incredible testament to the size of the US military, that it can be that big. And he said he was devastated by it. He really wanted to go, but I don't know. But he was in Japan, he was in Germany, he was everywhere but. But yeah, I thought that would be an impossibility to beat when you've just topped it by saying you were 30 years.
My mother was very happy.
I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was delighted.
Laurie was too.
Exactly.
So what rank were you? Do you mind me asking when you retired?
I retired as a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel. Okay.
And was very happy to be at that stage, because once you get promoted above that, your time really is not your own anymore, and your career is really not your own anymore. Promotions above the rank of colonel, full colonel, are up to the U.S. Congress, and you lose your own control over your own life.
Yeah.
It's great for the folks who make it.
Right.
And I've got a lot of friends who did. I did not, and I'm not sorry
You're
about
not
it
sorry
at all.
about it, right?
No.
The more public posturing? Is it more like being put out in the private? Is it more political? Is it more?
Some say the promotions after lieutenant colonel are more political than on merit, but I'm not sure I agree with that. It just happens to be the luck of the draw. The higher you go, the smaller the pyramid becomes.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a board selection process, at least up to full colonel, and that pyramid gets pretty short at the top. Now, only maybe 10-15% of the people who are eligible get selected. So I did fine. I'm happy
you
with
did
what I
very
did.
well. Anyway, that's just more on my
Right.
personal curiosity. Going back to what we were here to talk
Well,
about.
and we were were talking about uniforms, you still have camouflage on today.
I couldn't
Bill,
believe he
but-
walked in, and I read that how 30 years in the military, and I walk in, and he's on his day off, he's retired, and he's wearing camouflage.
But tell us what your camouflage is.
This is golf camouflage.
Right.
If you look close.
Which is, yeah.
Not GULF, it's
No.
GOLF.
Not BDUs at all.
Right. Yeah. So I guess
that's funny.
you have a golf game after this?
I do.
Where are you playing?
Over at Sanibel Island Golf Club.
Sanibel Island Golf Club's great golf club. They've new owners and vastly improved over what it
Absolutely.
used to be. So
Drew and Mary and the gang have just done wonderful things.
yeah, it used to be. I'm not going to go there, but it is now very, very good.
Yes.
It is very good. I will leave it at that. But check it out. So anyway, back to you decided that you wanted to do something unusual in as much as being a benefactor to these great organisations is not unusual, but you've decided to do it as a living donation. So why don't you tell us about that and the background about your family and the giving nature and giving back. So run us through that, because I'm sure people would be fascinated.
Well, I think both of us were raised by parents who were very into their communities, very volunteer oriented. Bill's dad was a Rotarian. My dad, throughout his professional career as a businessman, spent every year, he was on multiple boards, nonprofits, corporate boards. My mother was very engaged in the children's activities, the sports, scouting. So they really, for us, set the tone that how beneficial it is and how good it feels to give your time.
Right.
And we're very fortunate that we're also in a position to donate the money so these organizations can put it where they need it, where they want it, to further their programs.
And I think something you said about wanting to see how that money's spent and see the actual progress that it makes is a very valid point. You're going to be around to see it happen and working. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
and the day that we went to Crow and also Ding Darling to tell them this is what we wanted to do. Oh, the tears. I mean, this-
Actually, we need to stop right there because we haven't actually said what you did. So tell us, this is the big deal.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically, go ahead, tell us what you did.
We donated $1 million to Ding Darling and $1 million to Crow.
Wow. That definitely deserves a
That's
round of
amazing,
applause.
absolutely incredible, yeah.
Unrestricted, so that they could use the money as they saw fit, where they needed it. And that's what we did.
So you say unrestricted, I didn't realise sometimes people put restrictions on
Absolutely.
donations.
Sure,
Do
sure
they?
they do.
Really?
And for good reason.
Right.
But a lot of people they're worried about they want construction on something, or they want an education program or something like that.
Gotcha.
We just figured they know more about what they need and where they can use the funds the best. So let's let them make the decision.
That is absolutely fantastic. And you said so they were in tears when you
Tears on both sides, I'm
Both
sure.
sides,
yeah.
Just 'cause-
There were.
Yeah.
I mean, we were so moved by their response. I'm getting choked up now.
Yeah.
And a funny aside is, Ding Darling had no Kleenex in their office.
Oh no!
She's bringing out this big wad of paper towels, and it's like, oh jeez.
All right, get some Kleenex out there. Yeah, no, I have chills about that too, because it's wow,
you.
what a wonderful thing you've done for the island, for the people of the island, to the visitors of the island.
And still running off to go volunteering. If you're listening and not watching, she's actually got a volunteer shirt on with a name tag and that says volunteer on it. So actually ready to go volunteering right after this interview. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Kudos to you. You know.
Yeah. Do you volunteer at Crow as well?
No. Unless you count delivering my recycled newspapers.
Okay. Oh.
Cage liners, but
I didn't know
No.
they welcome newspapers at
they
Crow.
do. Like
Okay.
nice, clean, not the glossy inserts. but-
Right. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. So
No,
anybody
they
out
use
there?
them to line the cages for
Right,
the
that makes
patients.
sense. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody out there?
Yeah,
Drop off your
exactly.
newspapers to Crow. They will be much needed.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then, do you do any volunteering yourself?
I do not,
Okay.
except when I follow her around and do some things behind her volunteering.
Right.
Right.
I play golf, I hunt, I'm very involved
Rotary.
in Rotary. My father and grandfather were both Rotarians. I started going to Rotary meetings when I was about 6 years old.
Oh, really?
Because my father's club in Northern California had a Father Sunday and they had a Father Daughter Day. So I'd go to the Father Sunday with him. When I was the student body president of my high school, part of my job was to go to Rotary every week and report on what was going on there. And throughout my career, I was the program a couple of times at his Rotary Club, and I was very involved in my club up in Pennsylvania, and I've become very involved in my club here.
Oh, that's
when do you
fantastic.
guys meet? When does the Rotary meet?
Friday mornings at 7:15 at the
The
community
Dunes?
house.
Oh,
The community. We used to be
Yeah.
at the Dunes. We're at the community house now.
oh, okay.
7:15.
And our Arts and Crafts Festival is coming up starting this
that's
Saturday.
Yes, that's right.
It's our major fundraiser for the year.
Yep,
Been going, I think this is the 36th or 37th year.
they have it.
And it's a huge deal for us and a big money raiser.
Did you do it during the army? Sorry, did you do it during the army as well? Or is it not possible?
I didn't do much volunteering during the Army. I mean, the Army itself was a volunteer situation.
No, I mean the Rotary.
The Rotary, no. I actually I joined for about a year in Pennsylvania when I was there, and then I got transferred to the Pentagon. I didn't get back into it until up at West Point, as a matter of fact. Part of my duties was to be in Rotary there. So I was in the Rotary there for the 3 years we were up there, and then I came back. When I got back to Carlisle, I immediately rejoined the Rotary Club there in Carlisle, and then jumped in when I came down here. I was Snowtarian, as we call them down here, as a snowbird. So that's
If
fun.
you come here on vacation, can you come to one of the Rotary
Absolutely.
meetings
If you're a Rotarian, you are welcome as a Rotarian to go to any Rotary Club in the world.
Okay.
Anytime you want. My father and mother, when they retired, my father used to carry, we have banners. Each club has a banner, and we have banner exchanges. If you go to a different club, you take one of your club's banners and you get one of their banners.
Oh, cool.
My dad used to have a box of them in their motorhome when they travel around, and one of Mom's jobs was to look in the Rotary directory, this is before it was
Right, in the
online,
phone book.
and find a Rotary Club that Dad could go and do makeups at.
Oh,
So yeah,
good.
it's a great organization. If you're a Rotarian and you don't take advantage of visiting another club, you're missing out on a good part of the
All
organization.
right.
Oh,
So
that's
anybody
very
out
cool.
there on vacation, come on, visit the Rotary.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the plans for the future. What are you? Have they started utilising the money now, or do you know anything? Are you going to let that go and just see what transpires, or?
Well, you're on the board
Yeah,
at Ding, so you might know more what they have planned
well,
than I do.
Ding to my recollection, because Bergie Miller, the executive director of the society, sat us down and said, "This is what we want to do with it." And they took half of it, and they have that in an ongoing long-term investment, the way I understand it. They took $200,000 of it and set up a permanently endowed internship.
Wonderful.
So we can bring interns in every year. And the neat part about what happened with that is, part of the reason we did this, as we've said, while we're alive, is we can see how it's being used. And it might inspire someone else to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Well, it happened with this internship. Someone contacted Bergie and said, "I wanted to set up an internship just like the Harkey one, because why should I wait until I'm gone?"
That's
Right.
So
wonderful.
that's one of the things that came out of this, doing it when we did it, that they now have a second internship they're setting up, endowed for the same reasons.
So a 200,000 endowment will enable how many interns per year? Is it a number, or is
I
it
think that takes care of one
One
full-time.
full-time intern?
But it's perpetual then.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, like I said, half of it went into long-term investment, and what's that? 700,000. So there's 300,000 more that they've used for putting other directions. I can't tell you exactly what they are.
Right,
But
that's fantastic. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that was it. I do have chills too, because what a wonderful thing. And it's not even the money too. It's your ethos of the volunteering too.
Yeah.
It's, you don't need.
And Crow, I think, is going to put a lot of what we've donated toward rehabilitation or reconstruction on some of the barracks, some of the living quarters they have there for their
The interns.
and stuff. That
Right.
Oh, that's
Crow.
great.
So,
Yeah.
again, that's one of the
St.
reasons
Gap
we went unrestricted, so that they could use it the way they felt they needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the things that brought you to the island. If you've got any, if you had any advice for visitors that would come here, what would you suggest they do? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, what do you like to do on the islands that you would like to share with other people?
Well, I think we love to visit the other sites on the island. There's so much more than the beaches.
Right.
And that's what most snowbirds especially come down for, because they're cold
Yes.
and miserable.
Yeah.
But, when we direct them to the Shell Museum,
Mm-hmm.
to Ding, to Crow, the historical village, they're like
Didn't realize
amazed.
all this is out here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in my work at Ding Darling at the information desk, when we have a nasty day coming up, I'll say, looks like you had too much time on the beach. Have you considered the Shell Museum? Da-da-da-da-da. We have a real octopus living at the museum.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, really? Because they come for the beaches.
Right. And
many
they're
of them.
missing
They're missing
so
a
much.
lot.
Yeah, probably half the island is
Yeah.
Yeah.
other things you can do. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about yourself, Bill? Probably a bit of golf.
Golf is pretty much my deal right now. But I'm with Laurie. I was at over by the cafe the other day by Island Paws, and there was two couples standing there with a map, and said something.
The
about
Over Easy Cafe.
Yeah.
Over
One of our favourites.
Had a brain cramp there. But there were two couples standing by their car looking at a map, and I just happened to hear one of them say, "Well, what's this ding?" And of course, I'm on the boards.
Right.
Ding Darling is, and I laid into my sales pitch,
Yeah.
and I told them, what it costs to go through, and I said, but if you have a senior pass or one of the various passes for national parks,
Yeah.
you can get in for free. Well, both the men reached in their wallets and pulled out their cards. I said, you're in.
There they go.
But I
That's
said,
it.
you got, and again, like Laurie, you got Ding Darling, you got Crow, you've got the Shell Museum, you've got historical, and
Right.
one of these couples was on Sanibel, the other one was visiting. But that one couple apparently didn't realize all the stuff that we have going on.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. And it is the only national Shell Museum that we have here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah.
It's one of a kind.
One of a kind. Yeah.
Well, then
Fantastic.
you have the community house. You have Big Arts,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
library.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll point out that the Shell Museum Executive Director Sam Ankerson is a Rotarian.
Mm-hmm.
We have Anna Campbell from Big Arts, who's a Rotarian.
Right.
We have Rotaries involved in a lot of things on this
Allison
island.
at Crow
Allison
is a
Crow
Rotarian.
at Crow. Allison Hussey is at Crow. And Rotarians are involved in a lot of places on this island.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, Max, have you
All
got
right.
something for us?
I am ready if you are.
I think we
Ready
are.
for the quiz?
All right.
Pass
We
those
have,
along, Laura.
today we have 3 trivia questions.
Okay.
They are Crow and Ding Darling centric for the first 2. So we'll see how you guys are doing.
All right.
All right. Question 1. Crow is a local wildlife organization on Sanibel. What does Crow stand for? Dad, you're pausing. I see everyone writing furiously and Dad looking off into space.
There was,
I knew I was going to trip somebody up. Yeah, when you're ready, flip it over.
You may not be able to read my
I know.
writing.
I'm trying to decipher what Nick's writing.
I'm doing the doctor trick. I'm making it so illegible that I can actually say it's whatever. I'll just make it up.
Whatever
Try
you
to make
feel
it up.
like.
All right, with that, you're going first. So let us know what you have.
Centre of Rehabilitation of Wildlife.
I put Center for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife. Oh no!
Strike 2.
Go on. So Laurie's got clinic. Read it out.
Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife.
Clinic for the
Schooled.
Rehabilitation of Wildlife.
Schooled by the Harkeys. Clinic.
Okay.
I knew I was gonna get you guys. Honestly, before I read the answer, I had forgotten and thought it was center.
I totally forgot what it was.
I think
Okay.
they should change the name.
Oh yeah, for you. If you can raise $1 million, maybe you can change their mind.
That's gonna be my donation.
You can do whatever you want. You should rename it so we can get the.
So we can retroactively get the trivia question right. All right, question 2. Ding dong.
Ding what?
Which is
We said this earlier too,
No, I
didn't we?
didn't.
It's stuck in
No.
my head. Ding Darling Wildlife Society is an organization in partnership with JN Ding Darling Wildlife Refuge. As of November 2021, how many years has DDWS been in operation?
We should know that.
I know I should.
Oh,
Nobody's right. Nick, you're not writing.
No, I'm making sure my phone. It is.
Googled it.
Yeah,
He's Googling it, yeah.
I'm gonna say.
He'd still find a way to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Any day.
Waiting on you.
While we're young, Nick.
Okay, got it. I got it. It's probably not right, but I've got it.
All right, let's start with Bill. Your
Bill?
turn, Bill.
45.
45.
Lori?
Lori?
40.
Another Lori put 40.
40.
I've got
Dad?
38.
40 is correct. Lori is
And
in the
Lori.
lead with 2 points.
Which Laurie?
The Lories get the
LAU.
1 point each. LAU Lori is in the lead with 2 points. All
Lori, leave me hanging.
Laurie Harkey.
right, let's see if Lori can hold on to the lead with the final question. This may be confusing worded. I don't know.
right,
We'll see.
fine,
Sanibel
right.
is a very popular place for both tourists and new residents looking to escape the cold weather of the north. Since 1980, the population of Sanibel has increased by a factor of what?
I didn't know there was going to be math on this quiz.
Are you talking
that like a percentage?
Full-time population.
Is there a
Actual
percentage?
residents.
1980.
Since 1980, has it increased by 1 times? Is it the same? 2 times?
Okay, all right.
Doubled?
Got
3
it.
times
Got it.
bigger?
Got
4
it.
times? After that, we go 5 times.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just need a
What?
time.
Just
we need just
yeah. What by a factor of what has the population increased?
Okay.
Since
Since
19.
Okay.
To the nearest whole number. You don't have to give me decimals.
I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
So you got to think what the population was in
What?
I know
1980.
it exactly.
No, you don't.
Well, you said not decimals, so but if I was allowed decimals, I would actually.
Oh,
have the
okay.
right decimal.
Yeah, right.
What
I didn't even
was it
bother to do that
1980,
math.
What it is now.
Yeah. It's 1 number. That's all you have to write.
All right, go for it.
Hold on. Before I actually did. No, I wasn't cheating. But I did just see what she wrote, and it is quite singularly.
The dumbest answer you
Yes.
could ever put.
Anyway, here we go.
Mom, tell us what you got.
I put 1. I don't know.
The population has
It's the
remained
same.
completely steady in the last 40 years. Is
It's
what you're
not
saying.
moved 1
Yes.
point. Excellent. Good
I will
job.
tell you that is not the correct answer.
Right.
Bill, what do you have? 3? Lori?
5 times.
5 times?
I got 9 times.
The answer is 2.
Really?
Bill is the closest.
Wow.
In 1980, the population was 3,363 full-time residents.
And now it's 6,000.
And as of 2019, the estimated population was 7,401 for an estimated population factor of 2.
All right.
But I had 1, so how
we're
is
tied.
Bill the closest?
Yeah.
Because you were wronger.
Just as his English is grammatically incorrect, so is that answer.
He at least showed growth. You just assumed that the population would remain stagnant. All right.
Well, Sanibel has so many regulations, you can't.
Yeah,
just-
whatever.
Way out.
Yeah.
There's no way you're talking out that answer. I'm sorry.
With that, the Harkeys take a resounding win.
Well
2
done,
points
Well done. Well done.
for the 2 of them. You get to ring the bell. What a pleasure. That's your prize.
Bill.
Oh, and all.
Excellent. Well, sorry if you can hear any noise in the background. We've got not only Max is clapping, but somebody's blowing some stuff outside. But tell us a little bit, just before we go really quickly, if somebody wanted to get involved and volunteer, how would they do it? How would they get in touch with the organisations to volunteer like yourself?
They can just walk in, they can pick up the phone, they can go to the website.
It's
Each
super
organization
easy.
has someone designated as a volunteer coordinator, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're always happy for volunteers, especially in the off season,
Right.
because all the snowbirds go
Uh-huh.
away
Yeah.
and operations keep going.
The animals
So
still keep
Animals,
coming to Crow.
that's
they
right.
do.
Right, yeah.
They do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's been our pleasure.
You guys have got an incredible story, and hopefully it will inspire others to do something similar. What a great testament it is that you've done what you've done, and
Thank you.
we appreciate and applaud you for that.
Thank you.
And may your golf game get better, and may you carry on doing many years of volunteering.
Plan on it.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thanks very much, guys. If you like what you hear here, and you
Hear. I like that.
Here, here.
Here.
if that's two separate words spelt differently, here.
Here. Got it.
And
One time.
nearly as silly as one time. Make sure you click the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss any future content. Check out the blog and the website, thesandcapguide.com, for lots of extra content that isn't on the podcast. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, and a quick shout out to our supporters. Without our supporters, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Bailey's General Store, Dock Ford's Rum Bar and Grill, Spoondrift Island Bowls, Three Crafty Ladies, Gator Bites Tail and Ale, Priscilla's of Sanibel, Coco E Cabana, Suncatcher Street, and Sanibel Cars. And don't forget to reach out to Captains for Clean Water, one of our favourite island charities. Thanks very much. See you on the next one.